My name is Dr. Karambu Ringera, the founder and president of International Peace Initiatives. International Peace Initiatives is an international non-governmental organization that works with people to transform the circumstances in their lives. Specifically, we work with women, youth, and children who've been challenged either by disease, poverty, or violence in their lives. I'm going to talk about International Peace Initiatives experience working with an international organization who were their corporate social responsibility project for 5 years. I want to share this experience because I think our relationship was very different than other corporate social responsibility relationships, because I didn't experience it as a top-down kind of relationship. It was a relationship that enabled us to speak our needs, and it was a relationship that enabled Skansen, the name of the organization, to really listen to what we needed, because my goal for working with this organization was to work with us to enable us to get to our sustainability goal. You realize that I'm not talking about Skansen helping us, even though they came with a mindset of helping this third world organization that was dealing with these poor women and children. Very quickly in our relationship, that language changed, because I said to them that I wasn't interested in being helped, because I also don't want to be helping the women that we were working with, women who were living with HIV and AIDS. My goal with the women was always to understand who they thought they were and whether they understood where they were going with their lives. So I always started my relationship with the women's group by asking them, for example, when they came and told me, "Can you help us?" I said to them, "I don't know how to help people. Tell me how you want to help yourselves." So in my relationship with Skansen, I had to share that I don't work with organizations that want to come and help poor us, because we don't need help. We need partners. We need to build relationships. We need for each one of us to do this dance, recognizing the humanity in each one of us. So we started talking about what is it that International Peace Initiatives really needs to be able to meet our sustainability vision and dream. Some donors don't work with or don't want to work with organizations to get to their sustainability level, because they feel then their business in helping people is going to end. However, our view is that once an organization like International Peace Initiatives becomes sustainable, we are able to support other people more effectively, but also we demonstrate that this dependency mindset or this dependency syndrome that has been built over time by the development aid ethic, that needs to be transformed. That needs to change, because creating a dependency mindset in the way that international aid works with people in so-called third world countries is not healthy for the world. It is not healthy for our environment. It's not healthy for the well-being of a people. So how do we work with so-called corporate social responsibility entities to see not from their own eyes and interests, but from the eyes of the people that they want to work with? I know this is a big challenge because development is driven by, need and the call to help and save people. What I've realized in my work is that help and salvation cannot come from outside. It has to begin from within. Just like peace. Peace is not the absence of war. Peace is when people have access to resources that they need to meet their basic needs. It is something that people must work from within themselves, not something that someone will bring from outside. So for me, Skansen, working with Skansen, they understood what was our need, getting to sustainability. They understood how they had to do this dance with us. We didn't want a top-down kind of partner. We wanted to build a relationship. We wanted them to understand that in doing this development dance with us, they too were getting something from it. So it was reciprocal. Our identities, our fate was intricately linked, because the things that are not happening, that are not working in my country, for example, if we have a huge population of young people with no education, with no hope for life, that creates security issues for everybody in things like Al-Qaeda and things like that. So it is in our interest to work together as a global village to change our societies and our communities. So what I learned from working with Skansen was, one, the importance of focusing on people-to-people relationship building. Number two, to recognize we don't help people. People don't need help. People need partners. People need friends. So building relationships so that we recognize the humanity in each other and recognizing that the change that we want to see in the world really begins with us. Because tribalism, racism, this thing of the poor versus the rich, those scenarios are going to be transformed when each one of us recognizes that we are one, and when we learn to see the humanity in each other. I normally joke and say, when I'm pinched, whether I'm yellow, red, white, black, we feel the same pain. When we cut ourselves, blood is the same color. We are one. We are one. We just live in different environments. And so when we work with people, we build this human relationship that is important for the peace and the justice that we want to see in the world. I will conclude by saying that the other important thing that I learned in my relationship with Skansen, because they have been the only organization that International Peace Initiatives worked with as a corporate social responsibility project, for. And what I learned was the significance of knowing who I am as the leader of an NGO that was working with this kind of partner. Once I understood who I am and what I really needed to see, not only for my organization, but also for the women and the children that I was working with, they changed the dynamics. I never felt like a victim, because I wasn't one. I never looked at the women and the children as victims. I looked at them as people with agency, people who needed to understand who they were, because when they did, then they took charge of their lives and they are able to change the circumstances of their lives, not from outside, but from within themselves. So our work has been about working with people to know who they are, to recognize the resources that they have where they are and how they can harness them to meet the needs of their lives, to meet their basic needs, for example. And more importantly, once they learn who they are and what they need to move their lives forward, then to figure out who they are going to work with, to dance with, to move their agenda forward. So that in the end, they are not sitting on my shoulders looking for a helper. Indeed, I say to them that you are the hope that you're looking for. You are the leader that you've been looking for. So essentially what we've learned is that help shall never come from outside. It must begin with me. And I am the hope that I've